What's going on, people? Welcome back to Nick J. Francis channel once again, and I am getting blasted in the comments and on all my socials, but it's cool because man love to hate Arsenal. Let me tell you something. 2-2 at home against Bayern Munich is not a bad result. Yes, I predicted we would win. Yes, I think it was a penalty. Yes, I think we should have won that game, but I'm taking a lot of massive positives from that game. First of all, Bayern Munich, they seem pretty happy to let us play, pretty happy to let us have the ball, which does us a huge favor. It's going to be different at the Allianz Arena. Of course it is. It's going to be a totally different game, and they're going to come to win, and I think that's going to give us more opportunities. But let's not forget, we scored 2 goals from open play. These men got a jinky-majinky goal from a dodgy pass back from David Raya coming out and not giving Gabriel the angle. And then they got a goal. They got the penalty, right? We knew Harry Kane was going to score. I predicted myself Harry Kane was going to score a penalty. So the goals came from our mistakes. Their goals came from our mistakes. And then they did hit the post. That is true, 100%. I'll take that into consideration. And I do think that at the end, SAKA should have just had a penalty. 100%. The ball's gone. There's arguments that he's left his leg in, but we've seen Harvey Elliott do it against Man United. He got the penalty. Even Rio Ferdinand, who's a Man United man and not a big fan of Arsenal, is saying, yes, that is 100% a penalty. So how that's not been given, especially for some of the yellow cards the ref was given earlier in the game. But listen, it is what it is. It looks like Gnabry could be injured, which obviously you don't want to be seeing players get injured. And obviously, as Arsenal fans, we do have a soft spot for Gnabry coming from our academy. But, it is what it is. He could potentially be out of the game, and Alphonso Davies will be out of the game as well. Saka was able to get a goal and have a decent amount of joy. You know what? This game was very 50-50. I do think a draw was fair. I'll be real. I'll be honest. I think a draw was fair. Every argument I put forward for why Arsenal should have won, I could maybe put an argument forward for why Bayern should have won or Bayern should have done better as well. So it's pretty split in terms of who I think deserved the win. Obviously, like I said, going to the Allianz Arena, we're going to be playing in their ground. It's going to be a little bit tougher. We're going to have their fans to deal with, etc., etc. But I think the more open play kind of favors us. We dominate the ball more. They do have the pace. They have the pace merchants, 100%. And we had some quiet players tonight. Ødegaard was getting on the ball, but his final ball was lacking. He was doing everything he could, but the final ball and the quality was just lacking. I think our midfield was probably our weakest area today. I know Gabriel made the mistake. Gabriel and Saliba both made mistakes that led to goals. So you could say maybe the defense was our weakest area. And Kivior had a torrid time with Leroy Sané in the first half, 100%. And I was surprised to see Zinchenko come on and thought maybe it'd be Tomiyasu, but it is what it is. But the midfield today, I think one of the reasons I'll take positives from this game is because I believe, looking at that game, Bayern played closer to their best football. I think they'll be in the dressing room happier than we will be. I think they played based on what they've played for this season, based on the way they've played this season, Bayern played an 8 out of 10, maybe even a 9 out of 10 game. Based on how we've played this season, we played maybe a 5 or a 6 out of 10. We had a couple of moments, but really the final ball wasn't clicking. And the disappointment for me, the big disappointing area for me was midfield. We had Rice in there and Jorginho as well. Their midfield is very physical. That's one thing they've got. Konrad Laimer is a very physical player. Leon Goretzka is a very physical player, and then obviously Musiala has got the legs. But those two, when the ball's in the air, both keepers are playing long a lot of the time. When the ball's in the air from deflected shots or whatever, we're not winning any second balls. The one time we did win a second ball was actually when we went to go on and scored the second goal. So the midfield for me was a little bit disappointing. That being said, I can see the issue we have because when Partey came on, he could screen and he could win the ball and he could spray balls out wide and he could put the ball over the top for Bukayo Saka to run the channels. And I could see us maybe looking to start him next game, but he just still doesn't quite look sharp. He still doesn't quite look right. Something doesn't look right to me with Thomas Partey. I know it is injury, but I do think, and I've said for a long time, I said last summer, I think we should have cashed in on him. And I think, this summer we have to cash in on this guy, 100%. There are better players out there that we can get, younger, fitter, more reliable players that are going to help us win second balls. All he has to do, and I say all he has to do, it's a tough job, but all he has to do is help Rice. Rice is a Rolls Royce in the midfield. We know that. He just needs a bit of support. And while Jorginho can break the lines of passes sometimes, Bayern was sitting very, very deep, and it made it very difficult for Jorginho to be very effective. I don't think he played badly, but I think they nullified what Jorginho would normally do because there's so many bodies to get the ball through. I thought Saka was, like I say, good in spells, but He's up against one of the best left backs in the world in Alphonso Davies, and man, he's been there and done it and won multiple things at the top level. I think he's bound for Real Madrid next season. So there's no shame in not necessarily getting the better of him. But then he did get the better of him that time and got the goal. So I don't think it was a bad performance from Bukayo Saka. Martinelli similarly trying stuff, but not quite sharp enough. And then I thought the subs were really interesting and really positive. I mean, one of the things I liked about Arteta's subs is he was clearly going for the game. He clearly believes that we can win this game. We've seen him make defensive substitutions to defend and try to catch on the counter, like we might do against the City, like we might do against the Liverpool. But against Bayern Munich, you can see he respects them. I don't think he doesn't respect them, but he definitely thinks they're beatable. He definitely thinks we're able to beat this team. And I think he's right. Looking at that team, like I say, if we play that game, that exact game we just played, and I know it's at our ground, if we play that game 10 times, I think we win 8 times out of 10. I think they nick it twice out of 10. And that's what gives me confidence to go to the Allianz Arena and say, you know what, let's see what they do. Let's respond. And again, respond. They went 2-1 up through us making mistakes. And then were they able to run away with it after that? No, we were able to fight our way back. And you have to say, in the last 10, 15 minutes, we're in the ascendancy. We're the team that looked the most likely to score the third goal and really put the game to bed. So there's no reason why they shouldn't have been able to do that against the midfield that we put out against Zinchenko. You've got Zinchenko at left back, which is obviously not a great defensive choice. And you've got Kingsley Coman on, someone that's won everything in the game. He can run at this guy. Wasn't really able to do it. Wasn't really super effective. So, I think Sane had a really good half for them. And obviously Harry Kane does what Harry Kane does. I think Conrad Lima was actually very, very good today. Very good. But I think this is a very, very winnable tie. I still feel confident. A lot of players were not playing to their optimal. And if Martinelli's not fully fit, I'm fully in favour of starting Saka on the right, starting Jesus in the middle, and starting Trossard on the left. And it's not reactionary. Havertz has been very, very good, 100%. But we may need his physicality in the midfield. He's not the best passer. He doesn't have the urgency. But we may need his physicality. Him and Rice winning balls in the air and just settling us down and recycling. That may be really, really essential for us to win the game. At the Allianz Arena, 100%. And then Trossard is just, I've said it time and time again, he's the best shooter at the club. In terms of clean striking of the ball, he's the best shooter. When the ball's falling to someone on the edge of the box, Rice can hit it, Partey can hit it, Jorginho can hit it, but I want to see Leandro Trossard. He's the guy that makes me feel the most relaxed. Like, yeah, he's bins in this, 100%. And he did it again, bottom bins against Neuer. Both finishes were great, by the way. I don't know how many shots on target we had, but I don't think Neuer made many saves. Most shots on target, or almost every shot on target that we had, was a goal. And that's not to knock Neuer, because obviously Neuer's a legendary goalkeeper. He's got the most Champions League appearances of any goalkeeper in history apart from Casillas. He's a legendary keeper, but he's beatable. With the finishes of Saka, Saka's great finish, Trossard's great finish as well. With those finishes, he's very, very beatable. And what we didn't do today is get enough shots on target. And we weren't able, when they broke on transition, their defensive transitions are very, very good. Very, very good. Probably some of the best that we've seen. Them and Porto, those defensive transitions are key. Our defensive transitions were not as good. But when we are our offensive transitions are where we win the game. We win games by outscoring teams for the most part. That's what we've done all season. And once we get the ball, we're not flying up the pitch quick enough. And that's where I think someone like a Jesus is going to be better in the 9 than Havertz. Havertz does dawdle on the ball a little bit, doesn't have that urgency. He's got good dribbling and stuff like that. He's decent. He's a relatively safe pair of hands. He doesn't really lose the ball that much. But in terms of driving us forward, he's not the one. Maybe even a Martinelli through the middle if he's fit, a Trossard on the left and a Saka on the right. But the point is, when they have a corner and we break from the corner because we're very good from those set pieces, we need pace to drive at them and punish them and be really, really lethal. The one time they really drove at us, they went and scored a goal. And we're able to do that as well. We are much more capable. I think we're more diverse than them. They are very much today sitting deep and using their pace to catch us on the counter, which is what you would do on a FIFA. Do you know what I'm saying? We can do that. We can sit deep and catch teams on the counter. We can also dominate the ball. We can also score set pieces. I think that we are a much more well-rounded, well-versed team than they are. And that's what I think we can win at the Allianz Arena. But that's all from me right now. Nick J. Francis, your boys out. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? Bring the Arsenal hate, man. Bring it all, man. I'll take all the Arsenal hate, bruv, because we're still going through to the next round because we're smoking these men at the Allianz Arena. I'm telling you, I'll be there.